Fire, that hurt. Hey folks, Neil here. Hope you are well. Please excuse the slightly drag queen-esque voice. I have got the tail end of a horrible flu. So my lovely kids have brought in some exotic Portuguese germs into the house, and so they've liberally scattered them around. Awesome. Anyway, sorry it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these confessions of an Aussie FBA Amazon entrepreneur videos. It's just been bloody nuts, and both of the kids have been sick as dogs, and so and then Natasha was sick before that. So what's happened is I've just been a bit of a shit fight, basically. So I haven't been able to get anything done over and above the things for running my normal businesses. So haven't really been able to do anything extra for that. But talking of the businesses, that's been really good. We've had a bloody fantastic month so far with our Amazon businesses, particularly in America. Of course, Amazon's launched in Australia now, which is fantastic news, although I'm still not able to sell on there, which is a complete pain in the arse. I'm still waiting to hear back from Amazon to get my listings up and live. I'm not sure what's happening there. I did notice that they haven't actually made my categories where I sell in the pet niche, mostly, for the most part anyway. They haven't made those categories open on Amazon, and so therefore I think, because I actually included the URL for my Shopify website, I think they've kind of looked at my website and gone, well, you know, he sells doggy things, so no point getting him on the site yet because he can't bloody sell his stuff, which is fair enough. I kind of get that, although it is kind of frustrating, and I really do feel for the folks within my Aussie online entrepreneur community who are waiting as well, because now, of course, what's happened is bloody loads and loads of us, well, I say us, loads and loads of the Aussie online entrepreneurs have started making sales, which is friggin' fantastic. I'm really happy to see that, because I like seeing their success, and because also I know I probably shouldn't, and I know it's probably a stupid thing for me to do, but I you know, when you kind of can't help yourself but get emotionally enrolled when you're working with somebody on a business, even from a bit of a distance, you know, it's difficult not to get emotionally enrolled in that, and I find myself, if they're kind of frustrated, or if they're not actually getting the results they want, I kind of feel shitty about it, you know what I mean? I don't feel good about that. So it's really good to see them getting good results. It's good to see them making sales, and everybody's really happy in the community, and so it's, you know, it's good times. I really enjoy that. As I said, I've had the flu for past, what day is it now? It's Thursday as I shoot this. For the past, well, I started on last Friday. I normally wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go and do an Ashtanga yoga class and kind of get myself set up for the day that way. And I woke up on last Friday and I just felt like shit. I just felt like utter rat shit. I thought, oh, that's not good. Better not kind of, you know, punish myself by going and doing a hardcore 1 hour yoga class. But that's when it kind of started, and then over the last couple of days it's kind of got progressively worse. I feel like I'm coming out the tail end of it now, but what that's done is it's reminded me how important it is to build a business, because even though I've been sick as a dog, kind of in bed, man flu, and you know that's 5 times worse than women flu, yeah, that's heaps worse than women flu. My lovely wife has been looking after me, and which has been great. I actually quite enjoyed that part of it, truth be told. But my business kept on running, my money kept coming on in. There was no break in that. You know, if you've got a job or you're a traditional kind of contractor or something like that, if you're sick, then not only do you stop, but your income stops. But with an Amazon business and the way I've structured things in my other businesses as well, that hasn't happened. And so it's a really good reminder of the importance of that, and the importance of actually creating those income streams that aren't necessarily really reliant upon you to actually create, to be in them, to generate cash for yourself. So that was a really good thing, and I'm really thankful that I've got those businesses, because, you know, clearly I couldn't have done jack shit, basically, because it wasn't good. You know, I'm terrible at being ill, so yeah, not good at all. Also, I spoke to a mate of mine yesterday, which was kind of interesting. he does a similar thing to me, and I chatted to him, and I was telling him what a good month December had been for me. You know, you talk to your mates and say, okay, it's been really, really good. We've been selling this. It's been going really, really great. And he said, and I could hear it in his voice that he had basically talked himself out of making any sales for his business, for his products, in December. He kind of talked himself out of that. It's a really weird thing. So, oh, well, the things I sell, you know, they're very, very seasonal. Nobody buys them in December. And we sell in a similar kind of market, you know. And everybody will start buying these things come January again. And I was like, no, that's not the case at all. December's been bloody brilliant. You know, on Amazon, you've had Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You've had all these big sale days where things have been going on. And it was just interesting to hear how he had listened to other people and talked himself out of making a lot of money, basically a lot of money in sales for his business, all because he thought that he wasn't going to make any sales. It was just fascinating to hear it, and it really did remind me of the importance of maintaining that kind of positive attitude about where you want to get to and what you're focused on and what you're aiming for. And so I think I'm drooling a little bit, bloody hell, kind of turning into some kind of nutcase. So that was kind of cool. I kind of, you know, got some insight into that, and it just really was. I think one of the things what's really great about the Aussie online entrepreneur community is that there's so many other people in it. I mean, we're over 430 people in our community now, something like that. So there's a lot of us, and when somebody has a bad day, and invariably everybody has a little bad day, you know, that's just normal. I have bad days, they're just par for the course, you know. But if you've got a group of people around you who are saying, you know, come on, you can do it, you can make it, it's just a little setback, it's just a little hurdle, here's how to get around it, jump back on the bike, get yourself riding again, then that's really, really important. If you don't have that, then it's easy to kind of get bogged down, and you start listening to people who have got no actual vested interest at all in your business succeeding, and the negative Nellies who aren't prepared to kind of put it out there and go for it, then it's easy to kind of get sucked into that and start believing them instead of starting believing the good stuff. So I think that, you know, that was a really good thing for about peer group, because he doesn't have that. I mean, he has me, but outside of that, he doesn't really have a great deal of peer group in the same way that I do with the rest of the Aussie online entrepreneurs. He doesn't have that. So I thought that was really, really interesting to be privy to that and to see what a massive effect that had on his business. You know, we often get people within the Aussie online entrepreneurs, for instance, who will say, told my friends about starting an Amazon business, and they said, don't bother, it's too saturated, or don't bother, it's too competitive, or some other bullshit like that. And it's just rubbish. I mean, it's just utter rubbish. And all those people that think they're doing a good thing by saying, oh, you shouldn't do that, I mean, what they're doing is they're kind of shitting on the dreams. I mean, that's basically what they're doing. So don't listen to those. If you've got people around you who do that to you, put some distance between you, or just don't talk about your business between them, you know what I mean? Don't talk about your business. Be in a community of like-minded people who are getting good results, because they will tell you instead, there's loads of opportunities on Amazon, there's loads of people on Amazon, sure, but for the most part, they're rubbish, they don't know what they're doing, and if you know what you're doing, you can kill it on Amazon. And that's certainly been the experience of the Aussie online entrepreneurs too. So something to think about for that. And then the final thing is Christmas is coming up, and two final things I might tell you about actually. So one thing is my eldest daughter Isabella, I feel pretty shitty about this, truth be told, and maybe you'll understand why when I tell you. My eldest daughter Isabella is 10, and we gave her an old iPhone 4S to play with, and so she feels like she's got a phone, and so she loves making slime, and she's kind of this kind of slime queen. And we gave her this phone so that she could take videos of it, and she posts them on Instagram and blah 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 blah. And she loves it. And she said to me in November, Daddy, can I get a better phone? Better meaning bigger for her. It's just bigger, like an iPhone 6 or something like that. And I said, look, no problem. But let's do a quid pro quo. Let's do a deal I will buy you an iPhone 6, which I think is what, $250, something like that, if you spend the next 6 weeks, so from then up until December, doing this maths thing on the Khan Academy, because I, a bit of a maths geek. I want to make sure that my kids understand maths as well, and not because I think it's going to be important for them going out into the world, because I really kind of don't. What with artificial intelligence and robots, and for most part that's all going to be taken over. But I think it's just good to have a good understanding of that, because I would like them to at least understand it from a business point of view. So that if they do choose to go and do something like that, then they've got that as a skill set. So I tried to link it to her phone for her, so she could at least think, okay, cool, I'm going to do this Khan Academy stuff, and it may be a little bit boring, but at the end of it, I'll get my iPhone. So I thought, okay, cool, that would work. And that was going really, really well. And I had to remind her a couple of days to go and do the Khan Academy. And I thought to myself, well, I'll remind her 3 times to do it. So if she wasn't doing it, I would say, hey, hon, you remember our deal? You were going to do Khan Academy every day for 20 minutes during school days. And at the end of that, I will get you the iPhone. Yeah. No worries, Dad. I'll do it right now. Okay, cool. So I thought, well, I'll remind her 3 times. And each time I'll say to her, this is the first time I've reminded you, I'll remind you twice more. This is the second time I remind you, I'll remind you once more. And then the third time, which was about a week and a half ago, I said to her, look, this is the last time I'm going to remind you. As of now, you time to take responsibility. You're on your own with this. If you don't remember, then, tough titty, you're not going to get the iPhone. So, and that was cool. And then I've just noticed the last couple of days that she hasn't been remembering, and I'm kind of in a bit of a conundrum. What do I do about that? Not really Amazon related, I know, but it's just been something that's been on my mind. You want to do the best thing by your kids, of course. So I've been a little bit unsure about that. So feel free to post in the comments if you've got any suggestions for that. I'm not 100% sure how to handle it. I'm kind of thinking that even though it sucks a little bit, it's good for her to learn the lesson that if we've made a deal, then she keeps her end of the deal. I think that's a good thing to learn in life and in business. Of course, ever the businessman. If you make a deal, if you say you're going to do something, then do it. That's just a pretty simple thing. Otherwise, it's not a good place for you to get into, and you start not doing things you promise you're going to do. That's just not good, in my opinion. So there was that. Leave some comments about that. If you've got any advice for me, if you've kind of gone through something similar to that, I'd love to get your advice on that. Something I'm kind of struggling with as a parent. And then the other thing is that both of the kids are badgering us. So Charlotte, who's 5, and Isabella, who's 10, badgering us to buy a dog for them. And I love dogs. I absolutely love dogs. My parents, when I grew up in Nottingham in England, used to breed German Shepherds and Alsatians, and so I had lots and lots of fond memories of trompsing through Sherwood Forest. We used to live just on the edge of Sherwood Forest. Very, very contrived, I know, but that's as it is. And so we used to live on the edge of Sherwood Forest when it was a big forest. I mean, it's nothing now, but when it was a big, big forest. And so I've got lots and lots of happy memories of walking dogs, or really them walking me kind of holding on for dear life through Sherwood Forest. So as a result of that, I absolutely love dogs. So I'd love to get a dog, but I'm also aware of how much we travel as well. And we travel a lot. At least every month we go away somewhere. Because of the ability to kind of have my laptop and still run my business, it's meant that we can be pretty much anywhere in the world and still do what we do, which is a very, very lovely way to live, if that's important to you. So I'm not so sure, I want to get the dog. They would love a dog. I think it'd be good for them to have a dog as well. But in the same breath, I'm kind of going, well, is it fair on the dog? We're going to be away a lot. Oh, I don't know. So if you've got any suggestions on that, ways of dealing with that, if you've had something similar to yourself, then again, post in the comments. I'd love to get your feedback on that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. My throat's starting to get a little bit sore. Hope you've had a good week too. And I'll speak to you on the next Confessions of an Amazon FBA Entrepreneur. See you soon. Bye-bye.